Thank you very much. Of course, we just had a briefing with the Vice President on Nigerian presentation at this very 80th United Nations General Assembly, where the Vice President, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, will be speaking on behalf of Nigeria. And of course, we look at areas of strength. And of course, knowing fully that Nigeria is one of the leading economies in Africa, and of course, we know some of the very important reforms that were established at the beginning of our government in Nigeria that have really opened up a lot of opportunities. And of course, we believe this very important UN General Assembly will certainly further reposition Nigeria as one of the destination for people to come invest in our own country. We're looking at areas of our strength. We are here with some ministers and some governors. Some of the areas we're looking at has to do with soil mineral resources, which Nigeria is really doing extremely well. We're looking at other areas of investment that have to do with our economy. That's the area of agriculture. We also are looking at other areas of skill-based education in our own country. And of course, because of what will be done in our own economy, particularly some of the reforms that has to do with the removal of fuel subsidy and elimination of multiple exchange rate. That has gone further in addressing the issue of ease of doing business. So we are here ready. And of course, His Excellency, the Vice President, have also prepared a Nigerian position that will be delivered certainly on Wednesday by the grace of God. I'm optimistic that that will further reposition Nigeria as a leading economy in Africa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So Nigeria has a UN Global Convention on Taxation that it is championing. It's something that is very central to the ongoing push to reform the global financial architecture. And it's something that has put Nigeria in a position of leadership. And you can see that the briefing was for His Excellency the Vice President. There were ministers present, senior government officials. And the whole idea of having this briefing is so that we will all be on the same page. So going out, engaging, we have to make sure that we promote this. We also promote Nigeria's push to become a member of the United Nations Security Council, permanent member, because Africa has something referred to as the common African position. And Africa is the only continent or grouping that has a common position on what should be done when it comes to reforming the United Nations Security Council. And this is that Africa should have a minimum of 2 permanent seats. So this is based on what is referred to as the Eswini Consensus and the CERT Declaration. So we're also promoting that. The issue of peacekeeping, you know, Nigeria has participated in 51 of the 60 peacekeeping operations that the United Nations has had. We want to ensure that when it comes to peacekeeping and the contributions to peacekeeping, not only troops, but also the funding, that we are not hit twice, because there's this position now to say that Africa has to come up with 25% of the funding for peacekeeping, and then the United Nations contributes to 75%. This is something that we're looking to have addressed, because Nigeria contributes not only on the African side, but indeed also on the UN side. There are topical issues that will clearly come up. So we've reiterated Nigeria's position, the conflicts in the Middle East, in Gaza, Israel, Palestine. There's the issue of Eastern Congo. There is the conflict in Sudan. The Vice President will be meeting with the Prime Minister of Sudan. He's also going to be participating in the African Union's Peace and Security Council meeting, which is going to be taking place.
Okay. Honourable Minister, last year, Mr. President, through the Vice President, made a very powerful position on why it is that Africa deserves a seat at the United Nations Security Council. How far have we gone on this, Excellency?
You will remember that last year, as a result of Nigeria's push and efforts, that even the United States announced that it was now endorsing this idea of Africa having a seat or seats in the UN Security Council on a permanent basis. So there has been more, and more countries are saying that they are in support of this. So it's the how that is now left to be dealt with. You know, also there are other areas that we as a nation, because of our identity, because of our culture, because of our traditions and mores, that typically we take a strong position. When it comes to the issue of LGBTQ and watering down the concept of family and family values and just saying any type of family, we are very clear, we're very assertive, and the Vice President has instructed us to watch out for such things and to take a very clear position. We're not quarreling with anybody, but our culture, our mores, our positions are our positions.
I'm very sure that you'll be calling on countries to support Nigeria's bid for that seat.
Certainly, and don't forget also we have candidates for certain positions, International Court of Justice, OPCW, and several others. So we're going to be dealing with that. The Vice President is going to be having some very high-level meetings with very important dignitaries and world leaders. He's meeting with heads of development finance institutions, president of the AFDB, for instance, and so forth. And it's all about that. So it's not just the General Assembly, it's also what happens on the margins of the General Assembly that is important for Nigeria. And of course, he has his speech ready that he'll be delivering by the grace of God on Wednesday. And he's going to be seated on the front row at the very front of the chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Economic development and Nigeria's position in enforcing and promoting sustainable development and marrying it into our national goals. That's the first thing. We also have a number of interventions and side events that Nigeria will be hosting. Tomorrow we have a Nigeria Investment Day at 12 noon. His Excellency the Vice President will be there. We'll be highlighting our priority sectors. We'll be highlighting solid minerals, and we'll be highlighting telecommunications, technology in its entirety. We also have creative sector, a whole bouquet of positions that we'll be putting forward to investors, foreign investors here in Nigeria. Throughout the week, there'll be a number of other events. There's another roundtable. I'll be accompanying His Excellency to a number of delegations and interventions, invitations that he's received. So in all, is to push forward the Renewed Hope agenda, is to push forward the areas that we're focusing on for investment, is to push forward the reforms that the Nigerian economy has experienced in the last 2 years, and to make sure that all the friends of Nigeria in New York for this event are well versed in the position of where we are right now.
Thank you. At the end of it all, what will be our
expected takeaways?
Our expected takeaways would include, we have a deal room tomorrow. We have a number of investors we have match made them with Nigerian companies, and we expect further developments, further iterations of that investment deal room. And so when you talk about concrete investments coming into the economy, we've looked at the priority sectors and how we would sell that. I mentioned earlier that we're highlighting about 3 key sectors. We're highlighting technology, we're highlighting solid minerals, and then the creative sector. And all those ministers are also here on this delegation.
Thank you very much.